It's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, September 15th. So today we do have the moon in Taurus going void, of course, at 8:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be moving into Gemini energy 4:17 p.m. So as you can see, there is quite a chunk of the day where the moon will be void. And when the moon is void, we do not want to make any kind of decisions or commitments. We do not want to act on impulse because things are uncertain. Things are shaky. We definitely have a lot of doubts, a lot of insecurities that come up for us when the moon is void. The transition from the moon in Taurus, earth energy, very present in our bodies, very connected to our physical circumstances, to the airy energy of the mental plane of Gemini is always a dramatic shift, definitely picking up the pace a little bit, definitely a little bit more social, definitely a lot more active in the mental plane. But keep in mind, Mercury, Gemini's ruler, is retrograde. So we may not be thinking as clearly as we would like. We may not be communicating as clearly as we would like, but the Gemini energy is definitely a lighter vibrations and frequencies that we've been experiencing over this last couple of days with this earth energy. So many planets in earth right now. It's a little bit suffocating, if you will. So we are going to get a little bit of pep in our step, even if it is just in our inner realm from this moon in Gemini energy. Keep in mind, though, that the moon in Gemini is leading us to the last quarter moon in Gemini at 24 degrees that we will be experiencing on Saturday. So there is a buildup over the next couple of days where we are trying to process topics and themes. We're trying to sort our thoughts out, debate the pros and cons of the choices, directions, decisions that we currently have on our plate to kind of commit to. And again, if you're a Moon Guide subscriber, you would see that we're in the stage of manifesting where there's been a lot of realizations and revelations since that full moon in Pisces that we will be bringing full circle and that we will be essentially leaning into one path, one perspective, one understanding by the end of the weekend. So there are 5 different aspects here today, and all 5 of them involve the moon, which makes this a moon day, a highly emotional time, an inner realm situation, and 5 aspects compared to the normal, 11 to 13 that we have been doing, I'm going to say is a quote unquote quiet day. But as you know, every single time I say that it's a quiet day, we usually have solar flares popping off in order to make up for the lack of planetary activity. So we are going to feel a little bit anxiety, restlessness, if you will, a little bit jittery in our physical bodies. Go ahead, take a listen to the ascension forecast for this week for a rundown on the physical symptoms that we can experience throughout this week with the energies coming in from the cosmos. So the moon trines the sun. This is a beautiful energy because, of course, the moon in Taurus, the sun in Virgo, it's earth on earth. We're working together. We are trying to find a happy medium. The moon is our emotions, our intuition, definitely highlighting our attachments to the old, while the sun is illuminating for us, shining us a bright light on what it is that we have to kind of adopt, what kind of qualities and characteristics we have to kind of pick up, what kind of discipline, determination, motivation we have to have. And in the Virgo energy, it is a focus on returning to a state of health and wellness. Again, the Virgo energy has been illuminating for us what is broken, what is unstable in our lives, what is kind of crazy and chaotic in order for us to come up with some solutions. This Virgo energy, the problem solver of the zodiac, but we have to identify what is wrong in order to actually fix it. So you have the moon and the sun coming together to illuminate for us in this present moment what it is that we have to kind of step away from and what it is that we have to step closer to. And in this moment, we have a lot of realization on what our physical body needs in order to return to a state of safety, of security, of stability, where we feel like we are nourished, like we are nurtured. It's all about taking care of ourselves first and foremost before we go ahead and start sharing our energy, sharing our power with other people. The moon bumps into Mercury in not the nicest way. And let me just say this. This is an element where we aren't really on the same page. Our heart and our head now have some disagreements. Again, Mercury is retrograde, showing us where there's some relationship issues, where things aren't so peachy, where the energy exchange and some of our personal relationships are still unbalanced. Of course, Mercury in a retrograde in Libra is trying to find balance, trying to find peace, trying to find harmony, trying to find stability. But we do that through extreme thoughts, conversations, and emotions. And right now, the moon in Taurus just wants us to stick into this present moment, to have control over ourselves, our bodies, our thoughts, our emotions. And the moon is really having a hard time here because Mercury is bringing up all of these things that not only don't make sense, but we can't do anything about right now. Again, this is where the instability, the chaos, the craziness tends to kind of get created when we are coming to the final degrees of a sign that the moon, obviously ending its time in Taurus and preparing to move into Gemini. That's where the moon is at right now, at these very critical crisis degrees. So it brings up a lot of conflict, a lot of tension within us. And right now, our heart and our head are on two very different pages. The moon is going to sextile Neptune. Now, a sextile is a good energy, but here's the thing. Taurus energy has us in our physical bodies in the present moment, very connected to our materialistic realm. While Neptune is all about our spirituality, all about our higher selves, all about our dreams, our creativity coming from the higher realms of intelligence. Now, luckily for us, a sextile means that these two energies are working very, very hard together. Now, the moon in Taurus has us grounded, trying to stabilize our energy, trying to act deliberately and in a practical way where we're not wasting our time or wasting our energy, but we're so kind of, I'm going to say, stuck in our human and physical experience that Neptune comes over and kind of bumps us, kind of gives us a nudge and says, okay, you're doing really good at trying to take care of your physical circumstances, but what about your soul? What about your emotions? What about your spiritual self? What about your mental health? Where have you poured so much time and energy and focus and love into making sure that your physical needs are met? Where has the spiritual and emotional and mental needs kind of fallen off the radar? This is a time for us to realize that balance is needed, that we have to cooperate and kind of blend the wants, the needs, the desires of, our mind, our body, our soul together. We have to intentionally try to operate from a state of wholeness and paying attention and nurturing our physical bodies and staying present in the physical moment in our physical circumstances is realistically only addressing the physical body. When we have the emotional field, the spiritual field, and the mental field that needs just as much time and attention and love as our physical body does. So it's almost like we get a nudge from our higher selves to say, okay, you've had the blinders on for a couple days now. You've done what you could in order to, connect with your physical body and nurture yourself back to a state of safety and stability, and nourish, the physical form and your physical circumstances and pluck out these silver linings. And you've had the attitude of gratitude, but now it's time to kind of branch out. We need to recognize that there are other parts of self that need just as much time, attention, and love as the physical body does in the present moment, in the physical circumstances that we're presently in. So, like I said, 8:59 a.m. is when the moon goes void, of course. At 8:58, prior to going void, the last aspect that the moon in Taurus makes is a trine, good energy, with Pluto, the great transformer, the god of the underworld himself, who is retrograde in Capricorn energy. So Capricorn energy, again, earth energy. Taurus energy, earth energy. That's why we have a trine. They work together. They are common topics and themes. And what we are gaining from this particular energy is a little bit of an aha moment in our psyche, in our heart space, where we're recognizing that, guess what, we do have to change it up a little bit. We do have to kind of get back to, the plan that we're kind of formulating right now to go after our dreams, go after our goals, go after our desires. We are in this earth energy focused on the very low but slow process of building solid structures for ourselves in our emotional fields, in our physical circumstances. But this requires us to boss up, to take accountability and responsibility for ourselves, for our actions, for the outcome of our passions and our desires. And so Pluto energy kind of empowers us. And because the moon is in Taurus, which is, the goddess energy connected to the physical form, we are channeling this powerful energy, these revelations, these aha moments, these moments of inspirations that have just been flashing at us. They might not make sense to us right now, but now we're trying to get in the groove where we're stepping out of the present moment and getting back to work and building something that is actually going to be around long times to give us the peace, the harmony, the, safety, security, the stability that not only do we crave, not only do we desire, but that we worked really hard over this last couple of days to actually sit in and identify. So as I mentioned, we go all day with the moon void, of course. And then at 4:17 p.m., we lock into that Gemini energy. At 4:28 p.m., we have our last aspect of the day, which is the moon now in Gemini energy, piquing our curiosity, making our mental plane a little bit overstimulated and overwhelmed with thoughts, with ideas. We're a little bit scatterbrained. We're definitely looking to, I'm going to say, reach out and connect with people, which is a sudden change from the last couple of days where we've been kind of hibernating and introverted. The moon goes ahead and semi-squares with Chiron, the wounded healer. So the semi-square is a tension point. And let me just say that after a day of instability, of uncertainty, of doubts, of just questions, and that's what the Gemini energy does for us, is make us question everything, debate everything, emotionally speaking. Bumping into Chiron in this way is going to bring up all the negative narratives, all the what ifs, all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, all the doubts, all the insecurities, all the questions, all the junk, all the negative stuff that, we have to process. Now keep in mind, Gemini energy is dualistic. We have one foot in the ego, one foot in the intuition. We have one foot in the head space, one foot in the heart space, one foot in the here and now, one foot in the past, one foot in the here and now, one foot in the future. It's literally like the angel and the devil sitting on each side of our shoulders, going back and forth and back and forth. And we find a middle ground, because that's the whole point of Gemini energy is to find a middle ground. But we find that middle ground through extremes. So starting off with the moon cycle in Gemini, kind of opening up all the wounds, well, that would scream extremes, which tells us that over the next couple of days of the moon being in Gemini, as we hit that very crucial aha moment of the last quarter moon in Gemini at 24 degrees late on Saturday, we are going to be kind of throwing things back and forth. We are going to be debating things. We are going to be in extremes. If we start this cycle off in the negative, we're going to end it off in the positive. But we have to go back and forth between those 2 points of extremes in order to actually explore those thoughts, those ideas, those concepts, those situations and scenarios to find what the middle grounded point of fairness, of understanding, of logic, of practicality between these very extreme points of view, what that would actually mean for us.